This video is brought to you by TS4U IT Engineering Bootcamp.
You are mute.
Thank you. So now let's go with some best practices from the experience and as per the CI/CD pipeline and the deployment on the Kubernetes cluster. So the question I have, if you are to implement the 5 monolithic application on the Kubernetes cluster, and you are going to create the CI/CD pipeline, what would be your approach? What would be some best practices and you will follow, and then how you will design it? I know I have several questions, but I can reiterate the questions if you need to.
Okay, so to be clear, it basically you want to know that if I get 5 new monolithic applications, how would I deploy them into our Kubernetes cluster, right? So
how you
given
design
that
it and what is the approach?
Okay, cool. So basically, we had this issue, right? Every now and then there is a new project coming in, and we just need to create a pipeline and everything. So not all the projects are basically the same. Okay, sometimes it comes from a new team. Sometimes it comes with a newer framework that we didn't work before. So what I specifically follow to deploy, so I basically take EC2 instance first from the AWS, a bare bones EC2 instance. And since we will be deploying to Kubernetes, what I usually do is basically pull all the code from the Git repo and then try to go through the README of that repo that, okay, if I want to deploy this application into bare metal, what I need to do. Okay, so I actually look at all the environment variables that, okay, these are the things, these are the configurations that I need to do before deploying the application. So because I believe if I don't know how to deploy it on the bare metal, automation would be very difficult because I will be trying with the automation. So it doesn't make much sense to go through automation right away. So what I do is basically look at all the READMEs to see how far I can get with the deployment. So based on the READMEs, because most of our applications has a good README because it's company policy, this is how it needs to be. So I just take all the environment variables. I just spin up like a couple of databases, couple of caches, and couple of let's say Elasticsearch servers with the Docker Compose right away, so that I can just connect the application to it and then see if I can run it. So if the application needs a new database dump, sometimes there are actually requirements that, okay, I need to have this data inside already in order to run this application correctly. So I just take the database dump from the existing system if there is any, or sometimes the developer actually gives us a small SQL file that actually has the database already backed up. So I just need to restore the database and then I just try to run the application and see if it runs in the bare metal EC2 instance. Okay. Then if it runs, I start the automation process. Okay, and let's say the application doesn't run. Okay, I'm missing something. It shows it's getting an error. So I tried a couple of times that, okay, see if tweaking this actually helps fixing the issue, if I change this, if it's a version related issue, and then if I can't get anywhere with that, I basically book a meeting with one of my developers that actually builds that application. And then in the meeting, I actually show him my setup that, okay, this is what I did, this is what I tried, but even after that, I'm getting the issue. And then we basically go through a couple of things, and he actually usually suggests me some of the things that, okay, you can try this, or you have missed this thing that were not on the README, or that was in the README, but you have missed it. It happens a lot of time. So like in a little box, they says, okay, you need to do this, but sometimes I actually don't see that, okay, this is what needed to be done. So basically I usually fail, and then they comes and shows me, okay, this is what you need to do, and yeah, I'll basically create it or like highlight it a little bit so that you can see it. So after getting the thing, the like application running in my local, now I basically know what I need to do, what I need to set up in my automation pipeline. And then I go to the GitLab CI or Jenkins, whatever it is, and then I create the scripts. Okay, the first stage, I need to build a Docker image. So the Docker image needs to have these variables and configurations already in place. And then this is how the Docker image should be built. This is how the Docker image should be layered so that we can have a smaller Docker image. We can have a like faster build time. So basically I try to like do multi-stage builds, and then the job template is done. And finally, I just like copy paste the deployment scripts in the GitLab CI. So I just do copy paste because the deployment is basically the same, because we are deploying it Kubernetes. So I just need to like copy the existing deployment scripts from Terraform and all the deployments scripts from kubectl and everything. So I just need to tweak some of the variable names, some of the image names. So I just basically copy paste them into the new template directory, and then I just run the pipeline, and usually it like goes good. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I think my last thing is, I was saying the 5 monolithic applications. So you follow the same approach for every application. Okay, and then and you're deploying everything on the one cluster, and you are creating all the pipelines separately, because all this, the application is continue under development, and they plan to push every day. Okay, sounds perfect. Thank you. I think we call it here called the sandbox. Our DevOps engineer follow the same approach. Some of them they create a very detailed documentation of their own best practices, all the issues they have actually encountered, and they put into the conference. So the other developer actually they look into it, as you said, the README file, the similar. All right, thank you.